Hey everyone, welcome to the Rum Revival. It's your buddy Arminder here. I'm in my kitchen. I'm filming this during the 4th of July holiday weekend, and I figured I'd do something a little different here. I plan to do a whole day's worth of drinking today, make all sorts of drinks, rum drinks and all that. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna make, but what I figured I'd do is record myself throughout the day, kind of talking through my process of like what am I in the mood for, what cocktail I end up making, drinking it, sharing some notes and talking about the rums I used, and kind of just go throughout the day, sharing my kind of slice of life when it comes to someone who likes to drink rum cocktails. Yeah, so that's kind of it. I'm gonna start off with what I always start off with. This is the only thing that's kind of like planned, really, and that's a neat pour of an unaged cane juice rum and a can of lager. It's kind of always been my kind of go-to thing. Today I'm gonna start off with the Bristol Classic Finest Mauritius. It's 43% ABV, which is perfect. I don't need something big and bold to start off with, especially if I'm gonna be drinking a lot. Column distilled cane juice rum from Mauritius out in the Indian Ocean. And just have a pour of it here. Cheers. Nice little body for 43% ABV. A little heart of the cane, like cane sweetness. A little underripe banana, a lot of floral quality, just lovely. And then drinking a Monterey beer. This is a all grain light lager from Alvarado Street out in Monterey County. They make great beers, great hoppy beers, but they obviously make great lagers, so cheers. So yeah, that's the idea here. Just gonna drink and you're gonna watch me drink and you're gonna get into a little bit of my mindset as to like how I go about that, some of that stuff. That's gonna be what this video is. Might be your thing, might not be, but I'm gonna go ahead and continue to enjoy these two things. And when I'm ready for another drink, I'll come back on and we'll talk about what I'm in the mood for. Okay, so I finished my beer and my Mauritius cane juice rum, and I was kind of really enjoying just drinking, some unaged cane juice rum. So I wanted to continue that. I didn't want to like switch over to some crazy molasses-based, long-aged kind of thing, or with a cocktail or something like that. I want to just kind of enjoy kind of the heart of the cane, if you will. So I was like, well, what do I do? I don't want to just have another beer and another neat pour. And then I realized that, you know what I've kind of tried once or twice now over the last month that I've really come to really love is rum and soda. Just an unaged cane juice rum, some soda water, a little squeeze of lime, and it's delightful, obviously depending on the rum that you use. And I've come to really appreciate that as a drink, especially when it's really hot outside as it is right now. It's just really satisfying. So the last one I did was with Clairin Soda, one of my favorite rums, and it was amazing, delightful. The bottle I have is fairly high in ABV, so I wanted to use one of the other Clairins that was a little lower, because again, I'm gonna drink a lot of drinks today. I wanna keep the ABV relatively low. So I looked at the other bottles I had, and I had Clairin Le Rocher, which is 46.9%. I don't know why I said that so slow. 46.9% ABV. So I went ahead and made a Le Rocher and soda. Pretty easy to make. Put a bunch of ice in a glass. I like to squeeze half a lime to 2 ounces of your rum, and then fill it up with some soda water. Pretty straightforward. Toss in some lime and enjoy. I'm a little actually not scared, but I'm not sure if this is gonna work. The soda juice was delightful with some soda and some lime. This is a really gnarly Clairin. It's a little out there Clairin. I went with it because it's the lowest ABV of the others. But it's got the most distinct and out there flavor as well. Like sweet barbecue sauce and vanilla. How that translates in a soda with some soda water, I don't know, but let's find out. Cheers. Well, oh, okay. I was gonna say, hey, I'm not really picking up a lot of that smoky barbecue thing, but it comes in the back end. Although now it tastes like celery water, like a lot of celery water, salty celery water, which is not a bad thing. It's just different. But that celery on the back end, I kind of really like. Okay, so I've had a good amount of this now, and I kind of really digging it. That celery note, huge fan of. That smoked meat thing, that kind of slight smoked barbecue thing, took a while to get used to. But here's the thing, it's 4th of July, and I'm barbecuing here, and so cooking up some smoked meats. And that paired really well with that smoke note of this rum and soda. Under other circumstances, would I, like if I wasn't eating like smoked meats, would I be digging this? Like if I wasn't having brisket and whatnot? Maybe. Maybe this would be a little out there, but like it kind of paired perfectly. So a perfect kind of summer rum and soda, if you ask me. So yeah, I've kind of come to really dig this. Cheers. So for the next drink, I'm kind of in the mood for something a little fruity, but not with a rum that's relatively light, still flavorful, but light. And I'm ready to kind of move on from just cane juice. And then I remembered my buddy, the Whiskey McGee, on Instagram had posted what he called a salted passion fruit daiquiri on ice. And I loved I loved 3 or 2 of those words. I loved the salted part. Didn't care for the passion fruit part. Didn't necessarily care for the daiquiri part, but the on ice part I cared about. I think I'm generally not a fan of passion fruit flavors in my rum drinks. That's just me. I know most folks love that kind of stuff. And then, again, not to harp on it too much, but daiquiris, whatever, right? But the salted part and the on rocks part have got me interested. And a daiquiri on ice, I think, is maybe my preferred way of experiencing a daiquiri. It's just something you can kind of nurse a little bit. You don't have to like kill it, because frankly, a lukewarm, slightly warm daiquiri no one wants that, right? And I want to be able to sit with the drink for a while, especially in this warm weather. I want to be able to chill, and especially because this is a bit of a marathon, you got to pace yourself, right? So I'm not going to slam a daiquiri right now. I want to be able to enjoy it. So I'm going to make this salted passion fruit daiquiri. So you want to do 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, 1/4 ounce of simple syrup, 1/2 ounce of passion fruit syrup, and a lot of salt. Pinches of sea salt, saline solution, whatever, but a lot of it. Now the recipe specifically calls for the transcontinental rum line High Seas. It's a blend of rums from Jamaica, Panama, and I think Martinique. It says French West Indies, but it has a little bit of a funky Jamaican component. There's some age to it, you can see with the color, and it works really well with all these other ingredients. So that's what we're gonna go with. All right, so I've made the salted passion fruit daiquiri with the transcontinental rum lines High Seas. Cheers. Yeah, that is exactly what I was hoping for. Just something fruity, but not overwhelmingly fruity. I think normally this would be a very fruity, very tart drink, but I think that saltiness of the very aggressive amounts of dashes of saline solution I put in here kind of balance out the fruitiness and that tartness of the passion fruit syrup and kind of keep it in check. Whatever amount of Jamaican rum is in that High Seas really comes through here. You get the fruitiness of that. There's a little bit of vanilla character that I'm getting here that I think is coming from a little bit of that age character of the High Seas combined with the sugar in the passion fruit syrup as well as the simple syrup. Kind of really helps balance out the tartness of the passion fruit. And I think there's just like a broadly speaking tropical fruit character here, less passion fruit specific and more general tropical fruit. And I'm actually very okay with that. And I think the Jamaican component of the High Seas is really helping it kind of be more general tropical fruit. Delicious. Every sip you kind of immediately want to have another sip given the salt levels here. You kind of feel kind of compelled to have another sip to kind of refresh you. And then it becomes like a bit of a cycle, which is kind of awesome. So yeah, more daiquiris, frankly, should be on ice. Cheers. All right, so I really dug that salted passion fruit daiquiri. It was really good. I'm kind of in the mood to continue somewhat in that kind of trend of a fruited daiquiri on ice, right? Because I really dug that iced aspect of it. So I think I'm gonna take it to the next level when it comes to iced, and we're gonna make a frozen strawberry daiquiri. Love this for the summer. I make it a bunch, especially in the height of summer, which I think we are in. Now, my recipe is the Tropical Standard. I have the book here. Tropical Standard recipe. Now, usually what I do when I make it, I follow what the book asks for or calls for, and that's the Chanda Uduapan. Fantastic. This is the correct answer for when you want to make a frozen strawberry daiquiri because it's lovely, high enough in proof, 46% ABV, but that charcoal ash quality of the Toronto comes through the final frozen strawberry daiquiri of it all. And that is the right answer. Now, sometimes what I like to do, where is it here? When I want to really kind of up the proof, I instead go with Olympique Serrano Cartier 30. This is 71.4% ABV. It makes for a very, very boozy frozen strawberry daiquiri, and that's awesome. But I'm not in the mood for something super boozy, because again, this is a marathon where you have to pace yourself. So I was thinking, what do I do instead? Now, I have been enjoying some cane juice rums earlier, and I kind of want to do that, kind of don't want to do that. I want to be a little lighter in proof, but I still want it to be high in proof, because I think with any kind of blended frozen kind of cocktail, you have to have, your alcohol has to be a little higher in ABV than usual. And I was thinking, okay, the strawberry of it all. Well, what is a great combination of, like a flavor combination that goes really well with strawberry? And it's banana, right? Strawberry banana is like a top 3 flavor combo, right? Just like under chocolate and peanut butter and pineapple on your pizza. It's up there, right? So I thought, okay, well, when I think of banana in the rum world, I obviously think of Worthy Park. So I'm gonna make a frozen strawberry daiquiri with Worthy Park overproof. Now this is like a little bit of cane juice, a little bit of molasses. It's got a little bit of that banana note that you love and adore in Worthy Park. However, it is 63% ABV, and it's a little high given everything I'm drinking. So I'm gonna cut it equal parts, I think, with Worthy Park Silver. This is a high ester, low proof, 40% ABV rum. So I think you do an ounce of this, ounce of that. That'll bring the ABV down to 50-ish something. And I think that might be perfect for this frozen strawberry daiquiri. Let's find out. So I forgot to film myself adding in the ingredients, but it's as follows. 5 drops of saline solution, 60 grams of frozen strawberries, a tablespoon of a sugar mix, which is equal parts turbinado sugar and white cane sugar, 3/4 ounce lime juice, and 2 ounces of rum. Now you don't actually want to add any ice just yet. You want to blend all those ingredients until the sugar is dissolved. Then you want to add a 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum, and that's going to really help with the texture and consistency of the daiquiri. Then blend it further. And then finally you want to add 170 grams of crushed ice. Give it a good blend. And friends, try not to let it slip out of your hands if you can. Look at that, beautiful. Plop one of these guys in here for a garnish, maybe take a picture. So this, I think, turned out great. It visually at least turned out great. Has good texture, consistency. Smells great, smells like strawberries, but it also smells like Worthy Park. That banana note is 100% there, at least on the aroma. Will it be there on the palate? I don't know, but let's find out. Cheers. Yeah, it is. Oh, wow. Oh my God. Yeah, that is strawberry banana yogurt. That's the flavor, strawberry banana. Oh, that is so damn good. This is totally worth the mess I made in the kitchen. There's like ice and water everywhere. I think there's like daiquiri all over my mustache. The banana of the Worthy Park rums really comes through here and blends so well with the strawberries, the frozen strawberries. This is exceptional. This is, I wouldn't call this a frozen strawberry daiquiri. I would call this a frozen strawberry banana daiquiri. That's how like great it is. That's how much of that banana from the Worthy Park comes through. Maybe so far, frankly, the highlight when it comes to all the cocktails I've made and all the drinks I've made. I've had some good ones, but man, this really scratches a very particular itch that I needed scratched. So I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy the rest of this. No idea what I'm gonna drink next. Frankly, I don't know if I could even top this because this is perfection. Cheers. Hey everyone, so it is the end of the night. It's been a long day. You probably can't pick it up here on this mic, but there are all sorts of fireworks happening outside my house, in the neighborhood, in the city. And to kind of end the night, I'm gonna end it with the drink that I always kind of end most nights, and that is a Negroni style cocktail. Now, the one that I want to feature here is something that was inspired by Souther Teague at Creative Drunk on Instagram. He's the owner operator of Amor y Amargo. I think it's pronounced. It's an awesome bar out in New York that mostly do spirit forward kind of cocktails. And for the last like 4 or 5 months, I would say, on Instagram, he's been doing this thing called dicey cocktails. And his hypothesis is that if you make a drink in the 2-1-1-2 ratio or format, it'll turn out to be decent to great. The idea being that you would do 2 parts of a spirit, and he usually rolls the dice to pick a random spirit. Then you roll the dice for a vermouth or fortified wine, and you do 1 part that. Then you roll the dice and do 1 part of a Amaro, and then you roll dice for a random 2 dashes of a bitter. So 2 parts spirit, 1 part Amaro, 1 part fortified wine, and 2 dashes of a bitter. And that random combination of those 4 things will lead to a decent to, in some cases, frankly, sublime cocktail. So Negroni style cocktail essentially is what that is. And since he started doing that, I started experimenting with a lot of the bottles that I have in my at home here in the pantry. I don't have a lot of Amaros and a lot of like vermouths or a lot of bitters for that matter, but I still experimented. And then I landed on something that I love and adore. Now I did cheat. I didn't roll dice for this. I personally know my favorite combination maybe in the whole world. We were talking about earlier favorite flavor pairings. We talked about peanut butter and chocolate and pineapple and pizza. But maybe my favorite, which I didn't mention, is Jamaican rum and Amaro. Love that combination, just works so well. And my favorite Amaro in the world probably is Chinar. And I think Chinar works with a lot of really good funky Jamaican rums. And I've made Kingston Negronis with like a funky Jamaican rum and Chinar, and then a vermouth and whatnot. But what I want to share with you is kind of lately, over the last couple months, my favorite kind of combination of the 2-1-1-2. We'll start backwards, I guess. In terms of the 2 dashes of bitters, I've been using this Bitter Cubes bitters. This is their cherry bark vanilla bitters. It's got a little bit of what's it say here? Vanilla, fennel, and cacao. Great combination. For the sweet vermouth, I actually am going to Puttames, which is somewhere between actually a vermouth and an Amaro, I guess. And I love Amaro, so that's kind of why I went with something that has a little bit of bitter component to it on the sweet vermouth side of things. And then for the actual Amaro, I went with Chinar because it's my favorite Amaro out there. That artichoke earthy bitterness is such a lovely, lovely flavor. And for the spirit, I could have gone with a lot of things, but the thing I've been digging is Dr. Bird. Now, specifically, I've been using this cask finish Dr. Bird. This is a old-fashioned finish. So it takes the Worthy Park distillate that's in the normal Dr. Bird. It's a little higher in proof, 59.2, and it's aged some amount of time in, I guess, a barrel or barrels that aged previously old fashions, whatever the hell that means. This was a barrel pick or a cask pick or a bottle pick for Inferno Room, which is an awesome tiki bar on Indianapolis, Indiana. Love those guys, love what they do. And so they were kind enough to give me this bottle years ago. I don't think they sell this anymore, unfortunately. But I've tried this 2-1-1-1-2 with other Dr. Birds. I would say the regular Dr. Bird works great in this, but I think if you can get one of the finishes that it's a little higher in proof, this one, like I said, is close to 60, those work particularly well, whether it's like the Madeira or the apple brandy, whatever it is, try to find one of those finishes that has higher proof. So to make something in this format, it's your 2 dashes of bitters, 3/4 ounce of your vermouth, 3/4 ounce of your Amaro, and then 1.5 ounces of your rum. Stir it over some ice and then strain it over a big ice cube in a rocks glass and enjoy. You probably want to garnish it too, I guess, but I never have any kind of citrus laying around whenever I need it, so yeah. Cheers. Man, it's funky banana, it's chocolate, it's a earthy funk. Ooh, the back end is that lovely little bit of fennel and vanilla. It is a real cool sensory experience. It's a very boozy cocktail, but it's a boozy slash earthy slash sweet slash chocolatey slash bitter for sure cocktail. But man, oh man, all those ingredients work in harmony. And if I could only maybe drink one drink every night, this might be it. I'm really bummed that I only have that little quarter of the bottle left of that Dr. Bird because that particular old-fashioned finish is something special. But yeah, I recommend taking any Dr. Bird or any higher proof Worthy Park distillate, I guess, and mixing it with Chinar. And if you don't have Puttames, try some other vermouth, but try a bitters that's not just Angostura. You could, and it'll still be great, frankly. I think that's kind of the beauty of what So there's a ratio, is that 2:1:2 ratio, but I particularly like that cherry vanilla thing. It just adds like a nice little accent to all the other flavors that are happening here. But yeah, that's it. That is my final drink. I'm gonna enjoy this, sip this, look at the fireworks, hear the fireworks. Just want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me on 4th of July, I guess. Hopefully this was mildly entertaining and engaging. I'm surprisingly doing pretty well given how much I've had to drink today. I had a lot to eat today too, actually, so I think that helps. All I'll say is if you aren't already, please subscribe to the channel. Like this video if you legitimately like it. I guess if you don't like it, then don't do anything. To further support this channel, check out my Patreon page where I have exclusive content, exclusive videos, but you get access to the Discord server. You can chat with other rum nerds and other rum fans. And at the VO tier and higher, you get access to our monthly online happy hour, which at the time of recording, at least, we're having one in a couple days. So I'm really excited to hang out with the folks that are there. We'll hang out for like 2-3 hours, talk about rum, talk about cocktails, good times. Anyways, that's it for me. Hope you're all doing well. Catch you all next time. Cheers. Lovely, 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 lovely.